G Wrestling, baby. We are here. We are here yet again. We're talking about a lot. Gable, announcement coming soon. We're going to talk about some of these rule changes, really dive into what teams they really impact. We're going to break down 149-pound bracket, too soon rankings. We're going to talk about famous people who were wrestlers. And then we're also going to rank the college wrestling podcast. But first, we got to get into it. Subscriber of the week. Subscriber of the week. All right, this week it was, we're going to name it Joel P. 2096. Said, dang. First, your new graphics are great. Stevenson to Iowa. Really? I guess it's the money. And by the way, we are great show. I've watched from the beginning but never commented. You do a great show. You're hilarious. My wife doesn't even follow wrestling but loves you guys. And we love the brands also. Wow. Joel P.
Wow.
Email us your size and address. And you know what? Include your wife.
Yes. Thanks. Thank you, wife of Joel.
By the way, Brian finally received his shirt.
It's about time.
For
Pete's sake, the man's been waiting for how long?
I know, everyone's getting the same size. Brian finally got his, and he said, dude, he loves it. And his 4-year-old daughter loves it. Calls us the cartoon guys on Daddy's shirt. All right. All right, kids are loving us out there. Are you kidding me?
Well, let me just start by saying, I hope you're prepared. I have nothing. I've done no prep for this
I am
show.
more prepared for this show.
You better drive this boat then, because I don't know what I'm saying.
I've been steering the boat. Let's go, baby. Let's talk about Gable. We have an announcement coming soon, right?
Oh, this coming week. Yes, please.
What's he going to announce officially?
First off, I've done this too many times, I know. But I'm here, people. I'm here with all the praising up of one person as if he walks on water or something. And Flo's currently doing that, saying stuff like, the greatest heavyweight of all time. Dude, whoa. He's got one title. That's just cool. The Jets now, and I don't even know. Maybe this guy deserves to be in jail, as far as I know. Okay, I don't. Nothing there.
Some would argue that.
Nothing there, but right now, haven't forgot about that. But okay, Gable's a great wrestler. Okay. But
he is.
Go on, the greatest of all time. All this, and now he's playing with people. He's putting on his Twitter, little Hawkeye with question mark, and then like a day later, he puts a Michigan M with a question mark. Dude, what? Well, you're pretty important, aren't you?
He's trying to build up his following.
I mean, know.
I have a couple questions. Number one, where is he going to wrestle?
Well, it's like he's taking what should be WWE. Tactics, and he's putting them in. Dude, use all these tactics for your WWE career.
Well, maybe that's what he's trying to build up. By the way,
wow,
unbelievable. Wow. By the way, Drama King, I mean, are people getting sick of Gable? Drama King said, I think the wrestling world is tired of Gable. I don't think his return is going to be the love fest he's envisioning. Kirk may as well take an Olympic red shirt this year if he's eligible. Should he? Should Kirk? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
go at him, baby.
First off, I don't think Kirk Levitte's afraid of Gable. Kirk Levitte's always wrestled him pretty tough.
I know.
But I mean, he's going to have to jump up a level or two if he expects a real shot at winning there. It's like we talked the last episode, though. A template on how to get a takedown with Gable is now out there, and we'll see. I mean, I'm anxious for the World Championships just to see. We've seen Gable beat Paris, and he went to the U.S. Open and did well there. And it's like, yeah, he looks like he didn't lose a step. And yeah, Gable's very talented, very good wrestler. And
well, we have an announcement coming up, right? And it's going to be whether he's going to participate fully in WWE or college wrestling, or what do you expect? And we obviously know he's going college wrestling.
Well, he's going to come and say, I'm going to do them all. Everyone knows that. He's going to say, I'm going to do them all. I'm going to do international wrestling. I'm going to do college wrestling. And I'm keeping my WWE going. That's what he's going to say.
Well, why wouldn't he say that?
I know. Now, where will he wrestle? I mean, I'd be shocked if it's not Iowa at this point.
It's up between Iowa and Minnesota, right?
I heard there was more than one Iowa school that's offered big bucks, but of course, everything is the 1.1 million was the rumor from Iowa.
That's what we're hearing.
Which I'm still just. If I was coach, if I was Tom Brands, you tell me, would you feel good about that? Something about that doesn't feel right. I had to pay a guy 1.1 million to come in for 1 year to make me look a little better. That's got a stench about it.
He ain't paying 1.1, and I feel great. Now I got Gable on the team? Are you kidding me? Wow, let's take this sport to a whole new level. I have one final question on Gable, though. Is too much hype? Is there too much hype? I mean, we noticed he was cocky as a freshman, really not necessarily as cocky since some of these allegations have rose.
Well, I take that back. I don't any hype that college wrestling can get, I'm for what helps college wrestling. So I was never big on how big Flo and some of the other people were blowing up Spencer Lee and really put the pressure on Spencer. Now they're blowing up and all this Gable's this invincible guy that no one's even remotely close. And keep going. Keep going, Flo.
If he ends up at Iowa, it sounds like the same. It sounds like the Spencer story.
I know.
That's what. Goodness.
That's why I'm saying, I wouldn't be shocked. Would not be shocked.
Well, we expect an announcement this week. We are obviously going to be discussing that in the future. But moving on from Gable, one thing you've noticed, we don't have any wrestling cards this summer.
I know.
What is going on? Rockfin Flo in the past have done these wrestling cards. Is this a money issue? Were they not getting any ratings?
I guess, but for us wrestling fans, what a bummer. I mean, I was liking them little summer cards. You know, they put two all-star teams together, wrestle them against each other, or just have an all-star event. And obviously, they weren't making money at it, or we would have seen this continue. We've seen it from Rockfin. We've seen it from Flo. There's, I think, some other places that did some too, but the real big ones were Rockfin and Flo did them. And I mean, they were so fun to have something in the summer. We're waiting for the season. And I don't know. It's like...
Yeah, it's dead right now.
There's got to be a way to make money at that, right?
I mean, it's so dead right now.
You know...
We're having trouble getting views.
I'm going to say some stupid stuff this show because I've done no prep work. But, you know, people go out and when they need money, what's that they do? They go out on the internet and it's basically asking, donate money to me. What's that?
They can do like a GoFundMe.
Yes. It's kind of like a GoFundMe. In other words, put the money up front. Look, this is the card we're willing to put together. Now, all you people send in this money, and if we get to this mark, we will have this card. Now, here's the thing is...
I like that idea.
I'd be sending in money because I'm anxious to see some wrestling.
Should host it, yeah.
And the thing is we got all this money out there. People were throwing all this money at individuals to come wrestle for their team. Well, let's pretend I was a businessman. I had Joe's hardware shop. But as it turned out, I'm Joe and I'm actually very rich. So I really don't need the hardware shop, but I like it doing well. I'm gonna put my commercial, that whole card, that whole program's gonna be promoted by Joe's Hardware. And it's almost like I paid for a Super Bowl commercial because I'm gonna overpay for this. Obviously, all these wrestlers they want money to come and wrestle with these things. Which, by the way, the old time wrestlers, they didn't need money. Where's the next match? I want to show up. I like to wrestle. Heck, even like Askren, I heard him say, hey, I just look for the next opportunity to wrestle. And even Bartlett, I heard in his latest interview, I'm just ready to wrestle. Well, now
Maybe you
we
could.
got money going around. All of a sudden, well, where's the money? What about the love for the sport? And show up. Let's do this card and let's give the fans something. A lot of you very talented wrestlers aren't wrestling for the world championships in any division. And you're out there. Let's wrestle. Let's put together a card.
Man, maybe in the comments, let's hear some of the matchups you guys would like to see. That's not outside of the realm of our possibility. Us hosting something. We just got to find a venue.
Well, it's almost like I said, to almost get the money up front would almost be the way. We have to hit this mark to make it happen. Of course, then that gets complicated because you got to have commitments from the individuals to even list the possible card.
Yeah.
Say we wanted Spencer against RBY or something. I mean, I don't know the logistics of that.
Gable and Ferrari.
That would.
We got to pay them. We got to pay them. Yeah. But hey, we could. Let's see what the asking price is. I'm into this, dude. I like this idea. I mean, obviously, Rockfin and Flo fell off.
I don't know. That is.
Someone's got to build this sport, dude.
That's been the biggest disappointment. I was liking the direction everything was going. I was thinking, wow, they're on to something here. This is fun. It's not wrestling season, but in another month, we got this card coming up. I can't wait. And then all of a sudden, I
would love to put that together. We got to find out if there's any restrictions.
Wow.
As far as being collegiate athletes, I don't know, but listen, one thing we touched on previously, but we didn't really do a deep dive into was these rule changes and some of the teams that it's going to affect and some of the adjustments that are going to have to be made. You want to talk specifically about how these rule changes may negatively affect Penn State, your team?
Well, the one rule that every time we talked rule changes, the one rule we really didn't talk about much is that that leg hook ride. What does Penn State call it? They're hooking the leg and they're sitting on the leg while they're riding. And now that gets a 5 count. And am I in favor for it? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Even though the team I like the most is the one that does it most, that's starting to spread. You see it at other teams now, where you're hooking on that leg and basically you're just waiting for your 1 point on riding time, and it's tough. And they're good at
anymore. Penn State. What are they going to do now?
Well, I mean,
they're going to have to do something.
I just like it. I do like that aspect. I like the fact that you got to be working for a turn from the top. I tell you, I sent you this video of, it was just I don't know what it was, high schoolers or something wrestling, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. The top man was riding parallel. He's holding him down. The ref stops the match, and he puts up the stall for the top man.
Yep.
And it was like, whoa, whoa. And I thought, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
How many times do we see, like, to me, I don't like watching just riding. I just don't like it. I don't care if it hurts Penn State. On the surface, you're going to say that's going to hurt Penn State some.
I mean,
because they've become experts at that. But they got a team that's got some incredible coaches out there. You think they don't adapt and move on and pivot from that? I mean, they can still hook that ankle.
Well, to that point, they were the first to figure out this whole leg lock. So I would probably put my bet on them to figure out what the next thing is. But let's be honest, they've been running that in practice. That's what they've been doing in practice. Penn State is literally going to have to add a segment into their practice time called "Not Stalling on Top."
Yeah,
segment.
Because you say, well, they could hook that. They can wait for the count to get the 4, hurry up and unhook, and then, quite frankly, rehook. But then you're in danger of
losing.
Quite frankly, you're not trying to turn. There's your stall, young man. Now, that's how I'm hoping refs call this coming year. Be that aggressive. It's now in the language. You have to be working for a turn. And if you're not working for a turn, that's the biggest benefit to our rules change. I don't know if the 3-point takedown does squat. I personally don't like the fact that a takedown is now worth more than a reversal. So I wasn't a big fan of that. But this language from you got to make a turn from top and you could get hit with stalling, absolutely love that.
Well, let's think about what that's going to lead to, though. So, let's think about this. Penn State wrestlers, they can't use the leg lock. They're going to have to let them up more often, which is going to lead to more takedowns.
Yeah.
Who's better on their feet?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But they're giving up a point.
That's true.
Is the difference in Penn State's advantage on their feet greater than what they're losing in the benefit of their leg lock?
That's a good question. And on the other end of that, let's think about a team like Iowa. That now, here comes some hate on this one, but you're going to be mad at me. But Iowa's not exactly tearing it up when it comes to taking people down. They do a lot of pushing. A lot of forward. They're driving forward, and they love getting their stall call. Daggone trophy shows. So give me that stall call. But as actual takedowns, I'm hard pressed to start naming Iowa wrestlers that are real dynamic point scorers.
In addition to that, they're not the most aggressive on top either, right? I mean, come on.
And it's like, they're going to have to, every team's going to have to maybe adjust.
Big time.
But then you got this other aspect is counter shots and reshots and are so effective nowadays that it's almost like guys are going to be afraid to shoot for giving up the takedown on the reshot. And so all of a sudden, I'm not convinced the 3-point takedown is going to increase action. I am convinced that you got to make a turn from the top position and the ankle ride. I am convinced they'll help the action aspect of college wrestling.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. Overall, Penn State, you would on the surface say it's going to negatively affect. Same with Iowa. There's got to be someone out there that it would benefit, right?
Well, individuals.
I would say it would be the individuals. That's what I was going to get to. I would say it's going to be the individuals who just go for it. All these rule changes kind of are really oriented towards being more. It will benefit the more aggressive wrestler. Yeah. Right. So it's going to be. I don't know what programs are overall super aggressive, but it will certainly benefit the wrestlers who are more aggressive.
Yeah.
So, any final comments on the rule changes before we get into the 149-pound breakdown too soon rankings?
I'm just anxious to see them at play, to see how it goes, and I hope that if they have to do some readjusting, things didn't work out like they like. But thank goodness for the top position. You got to make a turn. Enough with the parallel riding. That made me mad for the last decade. Way back in the Stone Age when I was wrestling, that was big. If you were parallel with the dude, you were being warned by the ref. You gotta make a turn here, wrestler. You're riding parallel, wrestler. The number of times I would hear that, and then it was in your head, I can't stay here. Yeah. So you jump out on a bar or something, trying to run something over. And that really created action, just to be, even with putting both legs in. Okay, well, he's trying to run that power half. Okay, is he? Or is he just riding?
Well, I tell you what, it would be super cool if we could watch these new rule changes and maybe an off-season card. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe by this time next year.
When Dake rode Frank Molinaro from Penn State in them finals, everybody was so impressed with Dake. In fact, Molinaro took such heat because here he just got rode forever, and then he gets the choice and he says down because he was so mad, I'm going to get out. But if you ask me, if that match would have been ref the way I think a match should have been ref, Dake would have been hit with stalling multiple times. That whole match would have ended up on their feet much quicker because, Dake had him tied up, but it's like somewhere along the lines, the refs just let this just die. I mean, just
Dake might not win that nowadays.
no,
Trying to say.
Dake owned Molinaro. Believe me, he still wins that match, but it would have been a whole lot more exciting than watch Dake. I think Dake had daggone like 5-6 minutes of riding time.
That's just boring.
Oh, it was boring. It was one of the most boring matches I've ever seen. One of the most frustrating matches too. But yeah.
All right, let's get into the 149-pound too soon rankings. Folks, you know the deal here. I'm going to rip through WrestleStats rankings and Flow top 10. Here we go. WrestleStat. Number 1, Sammy Sasso. Number 2, Ridge Lovett. Number 3, Shane Van Ness. Number 4, Kyle Parko. Number 5, Caleb Henson. Number 6, Brock Moeller. Number 7, Chance Lemire. Number 8, Jackson Arrington. Number 9, Panero Johnson. Number 10, Graham Rooks. Flow. Number 1, Sammy Sasso. Number 2, Ridge Lovett. Number 3, Shane Van Ness. Number 4, Kyle Parko. Number 5, Caleb Henson. Number 6, Brock Moeller. Number 7, Graham Rooks. Number 8, Chance Lemire. Number 9, Panero Johnson. Number 10, Jackson Arrington. What are your rankings? Where are they finishing at the 149-pound weight class this year?
Well,
and why?
From where they have them sitting right now, I'll go with just that because we don't know about
What do you mean
several weight changes. We don't know about Sasso possibly moving up, which is a real possibility.
Yeah, we're making some assumptions here.
Same with somebody told us Swiderski's probably going up, which he would be in the mix here. But of course, I got to put Sasso first. He's proven it, and you know it's his time to win a title.
Is it? Are you sure?
No, no, I'm not, because and it like Flo's got Ridge Love at number 2, and
What happened to Ridge? Why didn't he wrestle last year?
he redshirted. Yeah,
Okay, well,
and
out of sight, out of mind, Ridge.
I don't know. Maybe you guys can comment. Maybe there was more to that. Maybe he was healing from something, and that's why he redshirted. I wasn't aware of any injury. So, and he's fun to watch. He's one of the funnest in college wrestling.
Is that who you're picking number 2?
No, I'm picking Shane Van Ness
Yeah, I figured.
because of he. Now, I'm kind of gambling here a little bit because I haven't seen a real big sample size.
Let's be honest. Yeah, he was a one-hit wonder in the tournament. He did nothing before
I'm
that tournament.
banking that was the flick of the switch for Shane Van Ness. He's obviously got the skills, and the way he turned it on, I think that the semifinal between Ridge Lovett and Shane Van Ness might be one of the funnest matches at this coming Nationals. I'm dead serious. That's going to be fun.
Well, if that's what happens.
But I'm gonna go be a bit of a homer there. I'm saying Shane Van Ness. I'm going Lovett for 3rd.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go Lovett over Parko. You have to admit, Parko looks good. He looks good.
Not so fast on Parko. I mean, Lovett, you know, we didn't see him last year. He is 2-0 versus Boss, 1-0 versus Panero Johnson, 0-1 versus Sasso, and he beat Rooks. I mean, not much of a resume out of Ridge as far as the wrestlers who are in this weight class.
Yeah.
Now, he beat Andonian and people who aren't in here anymore, but all right, you got Lovett at 3. Who you have at 4?
I got Lovett at 3. I got Parko at 4, and then I got Mauler at 5. I mean, he's been very good his entire time, and I think
He needs to be in the top 8. I would agree with that.
Absolutely.
Not that high, though.
I'm going Panera Johnson at 6. I mean, that guy can beat anyone when he's on. And I think he's just going to be better this coming year. I'm at 7. I'm going to go with that. Last year, one of the best freshmen out there were Caleb Henson. I'm going to go.
We'll tell you all about Caleb Henson. I cannot believe you have him at 7. That
Yes.
is embarrassing.
No, let me
Embarrassing.
tell you.
Tell me your 8 because I'm about to start ripping through this.
Well, my 8 is
Wow.
really could be a bunch of anything.
I know.
You know what? You know what? I want to throw away all mine. Okay, here's my 8.
All right.
I'm going to shock the world.
Okay. Van Ness?
I'm going to go Shapiro wins this. Shapiro beats Sasso, and Sasso never wins a title. There we go. I can't believe I just said that. I'm going to go Shane Van Ness over Lovett for third, okay? And I'll go Parco over Mahler for fifth.
Then Panero, then Henson.
And then I'm going to go...
Shapiro. I don't have Shapiro in mind. So who would be your 8 if Shapiro wasn't in this? Because I agree, if we add Shapiro, it shakes up my entire ranking.
Yeah, and actually, I think Shapiro would probably be 57, to tell you the honest truth.
That's what I think, too. That's why I didn't include him. So let's go without including him. If he's in this, we'll re-rank.
All right, then all I got to do is give you my 8th, and I'm going with Chance Lamar from Cal Poly. As my number 8.
Wow. Okay. Well, first of all. All right, I'll get into this. First of all, I'll say this. WrestleStat and Flow rankings way off, dude. Way off. This is a hodgepodge bracket, dude. There is a lot of things going on here, and I'll give you my rankings, and I'll tell you why. I got number 1, and this might blow your mind, dude. Caleb Henson, Virginia Tech. Caleb Henson. He beat Sasso last year. I don't know if you remember. Yeah. He beat Sasso, okay? Now, he did lose to Van Ness, but he might not have to face Van Ness in the tournament. Everyone else, he's beaten. The only concerning thing I see is he did lose to Graham Rooks late in the NCAA tournament last year. That's a fluke match.
Yeah.
Graham Rooks has beaten nobody, dude. Chance or Caleb Henson.
I don't know about that.
I do. I'll tell you here very shortly. And Henson, he's a sophomore. This kid is rising. And he beat Sasso last year. Sasso doesn't want it. He's going to beat him again in the finals this year. I have Sasso at 2. Sasso 4-0 versus Parco. He 1-0 versus Lamar, 1-0 versus Van Ness, 4-0 versus Rooks. Everyone beats up on Rooks, as you'll come to find. Lost to Henson, and 1-0 versus Ridge Lovett, 5-2 in 2021. That's Sammy Sasso coming in at 2. I will have Shane Van Ness. Give him enough credit. He's going to get third again. He beat Parco 1-0. Henson 1-0. Rooks 4-0. Panero 1-1.
Yep.
Chance Lamar 1-0. And 0-1 versus Sasso. He lost 6-3. That's Shane Van Ness at Penn State coaching. He overperformed last year. I think this year he's going to get third and come in. It's about where he probably should be. Then I'll give you Ridge Lovett coming in at 4. I haven't seen Ridge Lovett, dude.
Oh,
I haven't seen him.
He is fun.
Why'd he take last year off? I don't know. Out of sight, out of mind. He's 2-0 versus Abbas, 1-0 versus Panero, 0-1 versus Sasso, and 1-0 versus Rooks. But you just haven't seen him. So, okay. 5 is actually Panero Johnson.
On. You used some ink this week, didn't you?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, I know. Panero Johnson. What? How is everyone overlooking this kid? He's only a sophomore now at Iowa State. He's got great coaching. He's 1-1 versus Van Ness, 1-1 versus Mahler, 1-0 versus Victor Vonovich. Iowa kid.
Yeah.
Now, he did lose to Parco and Lamar, but as a freshman, Panero, and he's at Iowa State. That's great coaching. There's no way he's outside of the top 5. Coming in at 6, I will give it to Parco. You got to put him in there. I mean, he's a junior this year. Arizona State coaching, not so sure about that. Not so sure. He also beat Rooks 1-0. He lost to Van Ness. He's 0-4. 0-4 versus Sasso. 2-1 versus Mahler. 3-0 versus Abbas. 1-0 versus Panero. 1-0 versus Lamar. 1-0 versus Jackson Arrington. That's Kyle Parco coming in at 6 and at 7. Brock Mahler. You have to put Brock Mahler in there. I mean, this kid has a serious resume, and he's a senior at Missouri. 1-1 versus Henson. 1-2 versus Parco. 1-1 versus Johnson. 1-0 versus Lamar. 1-0 versus Arrington. 2-0 versus Victor. So Brock Mahler coming in at 7. And finally rounding out, this one might surprise you, I got Jackson Arrington, NC State kid, coming in at 8. Now, he's 0-1 versus Mahler. He beat Victor. He's 0-2 versus Henson. Who's going to win it? Beat Lamar. 0-1 versus Parco. Couple honorable mentions here. Graham Rooks, he's ranked everywhere, but who has he beaten? He beat Caleb Henson one time. Outside of that, he's 0-4 versus Van Ness, 0-4 versus Sasso, 0-1 versus Chance Lamar, 0-1 versus Parko, 0-1 versus Ridge Lovett.
Yeah, but they were all close.
Okay, he beat Yaya. Medical forfeit. That don't count. I mean, they're all close. Come on, dude. Chance Lamar. No. Chance Lamar, nothing. Victor Voinovich. Does he Iowa kid? Come on, dude. I wanted so bad to put him in my top 8. I could not with that kind of resume. What do you know about Victor? Does he have any chance of...
Will he even start? Here he transfers to Iowa. Who knows? The way they're throwing money over there, they probably even threw some money his way there to come there, and he may just be a backup.
Or he could get top 8.
Yeah. Well, Anthony claims he can get down to 149. So, Anthony Ferrari.
All right. Any final thoughts on 149?
It should be a fun weight class.
Yeah, it could.
It
go
really
a lot
should
of
be a
different
fun
ways.
weight class, and I would love to put a couple of them on that card that we wish we could put together. I mean, a lot of them are fun wrestlers. The Ridge Lovetts, the Shane Van Nesses, even Sasso, he's fun to watch. Panera Johnson, fun to watch. A lot of them guys, just great, entertaining wrestlers.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's the off season. We're searching for topics, right? At least we're putting shows out. Other places aren't. I want to bring up. Let's talk about some famous people who wrestled real quick, right?
Can I tell you what I had to do though, right before coming here?
What?
Okay, the Orioles. By the way, I got to mention the Orioles. How about the Orioles? Huh? How about them Orioles? 2 games up now.
I put $100 on them to make the playoffs.
They just spanked
Before the
Tampa
season
Bay
started at plus
in their
20.
house 3 out of 4 times.
That's right.
But anyway, during that game, the Big Ten Network had one of Iowa's shows. It shows the 2022 Iowa team. And, you know, when in the off season like this, it's hard to kind of get passionate because everything's just dead. I mean, if you don't believe me,
Gee, my nut.
go look at some of the podcast numbers out there, and everything's dead. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of hard to get passionate. You wait till that first week comes up, boy. We're going to be passionate then. But anyway,
Firing bullets.
I thought, okay, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to turn off the Oriole game and watch this show. And how many times did I see Marinelli and him and the girlfriend?
We are going to rank the college wrestling podcast.
How many
right?
times have-
That's our next topic. We're going to rank the college wrestling podcast. But before we get into that, all right, let's talk about some famous people, dude. You know, you thought, I wonder if he was a wrestler. I'll tell you who was a wrestler. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise wrestled. Here, he didn't start until later than all other wrestlers. He's not a big guy. He was about 5'5" and 130 pounds. To be a wrestler, he had to be in great shape, physically strong. We would tone down our food intake. Most people stopped eating for a couple days to achieve the drastic weight loss. It was perfect for him. Wrestling helped to control your body and mind. You have to be in perfect shape, and it's 1-to-1 combat. It's very popular at the time in the Midwest.
Is this what he's
with the
saying?
boys. Yeah, it's Tom Cruise.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, it's Tom Cruise.
I mean,
Small little dude.
okay, where's all these records?
That's where he learned how to
Because
do
if you want my opinion,
I could not find his record, which meant it was not good.
Well, yeah,
Not good.
Yeah, I could pick out 100 wrestlers at his weight class that just they should be the movie stars. We're talking about studs. They go out and they show, Tom Cruise. He's an actor. Well, let me tell you something, Zach. We're all actors. I'm acting every day. I'm acting like I want to go to work half the time. No, I don't want to go to work.
Maybe not for long.
I know.
IRC Yellow.
Yeah.
Potentially out of business. After this, before this episode even premieres, you might not even have a job. You might be full-time BG wrestling, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, my wife already said it's about time we get this lawn straightened out over
All
here.
right. Let me tell you who else. Ashton Kutcher. Guess who Ashton Kutcher wrestled? What state?
I don't know. Is this like the butterfly effect?
Iowa. Look at this dude. Ashton Kutcher, huge Iowa fan.
Oh.
So I instantly love everything Ashton Kutcher's in now.
Oh.
Starting right now. I'm serious.
What was his character on that 70s show? What was he called? Who was he?
Yeah, he was like the
What was his
stoner
name?
guy.
Daggone, I can't remember. Yeah. Well, now he fits that character.
Oh, wow. All right, I'll tell you someone else. Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn, big
Okay,
actor.
I can see that.
I like Vince Vaughn. I'm a big Vince Vaughn fan. Now, you can see it, although he called himself unathletic and very average at high school.
You know when I like Vince Vaughn the best? Into the Wild. That was an incredible movie, people. By the way, watch that if you got a chance.
Okay.
True story about the kid that went to Alaska and ends up dying. Vince Vaughn was in that movie, and I thought it was just a supporting role, but I really liked him in that movie. But okay.
My favorite Vince Vaughn. What is that true crime show on HBO? He's in season 2. True Detectives. Season 2 True Detectives. Everyone loves True Detectives. Is it True Detectives?
I don't know. I'm in the middle of watching Game of Thrones, and I'm talking, wow, Zach.
Well,
I know this is off wrestling, but dang God.
Well, Vince Vaughn, listen, you know him for being a funny guy. Go, if it's True Detectives. If it's not, I will show it up on the screen,
okay,
whatever it is. He's a mobster. He's a mean dude.
Okay, here is King of Thrones. Show me where True Detective is. Here. Tell me when. No.
It's like 1A, 1B. I'm not even joking, dude. Yeah, seriously. You've watched it. Matthew McConaughey. Season 1's McConaughey and...
I don't think I ever watched it.
Wow, you're missing out. Folks, go watch it right now. All right, we got to talk about other people.
Vince Vaughn wrestled.
Yep. Not well, though.
That's cool.
Ludacris. Ludacris, the rapper, Luda. Okay, Ludacris had some experience with wrestling. Experience took place back in the days when he was known as his real name, Christopher Bridges, with lyrics like Tag Team Off the Ropes.
Why you gotta change your name? Why can't he call himself, hey, I'm Christopher Bridges. Check out my rap song.
It's an advertising thing. What? He wrestled in high school. He wrestled as a freshman and then quit when he moved. He was a lightweight guy. Also lightweight. I wonder who would win, Ludacris or Tom Cruise?
No.
Seriously, he said, I wrestled at the very first level, the lowest weight. I weighed around 90 pounds when I was in high school. A lot of the matches that we would have, I wouldn't even have anyone to wrestle against because they didn't have anyone in the weight class. I quit because I had to move. I was in Illinois. He's an Illinois kid. And I had to move from high school to high school. It was just something different in each school. Either didn't have it, they didn't have teams, programs, and he lost interest. Tom Cruise or Ludacris? Who would you take?
I'd take Jim Martin. What? Yes, that's right, Jim Martin. I remember watching him in Pennsylvania high school. Oh, this guy's probably just a little younger than me, but boy, was he a wrestler. National champ. I think he eventually was a doctor. Okay.
Okay, great. Please come back next week, folks. Please come back next week. One final one I want to talk about. Robin Williams. Funny guy, Robin Williams. Yeah.
Okay.
So students at school were required to play a varsity sport.
Yeah.
Williams actually, listen to this, dude. So he made a movie. Check this out. Robin chose wrestling because he was close to his coach, history teacher John Campbell. His relationship with the wrestling coach really extended into his portrayal in one of his movies, The Dead Poet Society.
Yeah.
So Campbell's daughter, Sue, shared her recollections of how her father remembered one of his student athletes who went on to become a major star. Quote, when Williams was in high school at Detroit County Day School, my dad, John Campbell, was his wrestling coach. As a kid, Williams was scrawny but strong, squirrely, and also very smart, my dad would recount. Once William became an established star, he paid tribute to Sue Campbell's father on an episode of his TV series Inside the Actor Studio, saying that he had based his role as Professor John Keating in the 1989 drama Dead Poet Society on my very idealistic and liberal father. It's not surprising Williams looked on his own private school.
All right. Can Gable be...
he made a movie about wrestling, dude.
I know, but like Robin Williams had that. He had that something that made him a star. The Rock has that something. What are we going to call that something?
Well,
Gable wants to be that. And in a way, as wrestling fans, Yeah, I blast on Gable a little bit because he's not a Penn Stater, but I'm kind of rooting for him because he's a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see a wrestler like get big.
Well, it leads
like
to my
that.
next question.
Okay.
Who is going to be the next famous wrestler? Okay, I'm going to throw out some names: Bo
Okay.
Nickel, Gable, Spencer Lee, Carter Starachi, RBY. Who is the next famous person who's a wrestler?
Wow. See,
I mean, you'd have to.
you got to think about that in a certain kind of way, like the personality.
Yeah, someone could come out of nowhere and be like an actor or
Yeah,
something.
well, like a Yanni. To me, Yanni,
Smart
when
kid.
when Yanni's talking, like I find myself
Very.
listening. I do.
Yanni's one of the few people I actually would like to have on the podcast. I would enjoy having a
Oh,
conversation.
that'd be a
with
very
Yanni.
interesting
Yeah.
little. Yeah, I don't need. We often talk about.
I don't
Oh,
need-
okay. Could you guys get some guests? I don't want any guests.
we don't really want
unless
any
you get a Yanni. But I actually wouldn't want any guests.
I would be very selective with who I'd want on the show.
Yeah.
Yanni would be one of them. I tell you, I would have to bet Bo with that UFC how he's looking in the UFC.
Yes. Although, as with all his talents, Bo, and I got to tell you, the greatest post-championship interview of all time was Bo, and there's no denying that. That's what we do.
Yep.
It just doesn't get any better than
He
that.
also has what was voted Penn State's most memorable moment of all
Yep,
time.
absolutely. But on the surface,
and mean Penn.
like I've listened to enough interviews with Bo, and he's a great guy. He's well-spoken, all that stuff, but something about a guy that you're just not certain which direction you're going to go next. Like he'll shock you, maybe. Like something.
You're going to pick.
I'm
the
not
field.
explaining this right.
You're going to pick the field. Maybe Peyton Robb or something. I don't know.
Well, to me, like I have to put some thought in that, and I'd like to hear more interviews like with a Ridge Lovett. I mean, Ridge Lovett seems like a very entertaining guy to me. There's some others out there, but I've heard enough. It's got to be tough for these college kids.
Betting
Boom,
odds.
they got the press right there. They're doing an interview, and at that moment, you know, to take
Some people
all
got
the
it.
prepared answers that you've been taught or heard or watched in the past and think, okay, it's my turn to give this prepared answer, and go completely off the rails. And I love that. I love that. And I got to tell you, sometimes it gets people hating you, like Starachi. A lot of people hate Starachi, but I got to give it to him.
I know. That's why I listed him. And I'll tell you this: Bo's quiet now. But to Bo's credit, he said, this is not his time to talk, dude. Let him win some big matches.
Yeah.
He might blow up, dude.
That's true. That's true.
So,
If I had to pick, I would say I would actually go, I guess Gable's in position to be that.
Gable's your favorite.
But
Bo coming in number 2. Then number 3, I have Carter. Then I have number 4, RBY. And number 5, I have Spencer.
yeah. Well, all of them.
We just don't know about Spencer. He's just a big name right now.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Spencer? Do something.
Yeah.
All right, talking about rankings, let's talk about College Wrestling Podcast. Why did we start this, folks? We started this because
Well,
you love
Yes.
wrestling, first and foremost.
the very first show
I
we
love
ever
wrestling.
did, the very first show we ever did, the very first thing I ever said was when I turn on a wrestling podcast, it's like I'm pumped up. I want to hear about wrestling. I want to hear about wrestling. And next thing I know, they're talking about what they did over the weekend. And then they're talking about, well, my kid did this. I was talking about my kid. And then we went for lunch, which I had to walk around this train. That went on for
Anything
12
and everything
minutes
about
this
other
past
than
week.
wrestling.
And I love Flo. Don't get me wrong, Flo. Love you guys. Love all of you guys. But I turn on the podcast because I want to talk here about wrestling. And it's like, if I wanted entertained, I go to the entertainment channel.
Station.
But-
No, the
Yes.
entertainment station.
Entertainment station. And I didn't pick the entertainment station. I picked the wrestling station because I'm thinking we're going to talk wrestling.
What is on that entertainment station?
Oh,
So, yes, that's why we started this, folks. And we're just doing it because we love doing it. I'll be honest.
And I
we
tell
just
you,
have
there's
fun,
some
man.
guys out there are just excellent.
We like
podcasters.
subscribers. Although, dude, okay, we're getting ready to rank the College Wrestling Podcast. We're not including us. But if I'm being honest,
Well, my favorite was
us.
hands down Well, you said not to include us.
No, well, I said, but if we did, we would be number one, right?
Well, I would be entertained by us because we don't drift off of wrestling very much. So that fits what I'm looking for. No, maybe you guys aren't the same, but I like talking wrestling. Now, you're going to agree with a lot of what we say or disagree, and that's cool. And one guy said we're casuals. We're casual fans.
Casual.
You call us what you want. I don't care.
Offense
but
to that,
we're
dude.
still going to talk wrestling because we have a passion and love for wrestling. But I love
that would, by definition, make us not casuals. Whoever said that,
that's true.
Email us your address for a pair of underwear with a face on the crotch.
You know, the thing is, in the room with Cody Goodman.
That would have been your number one.
Iowa's guy. What a podcast that was.
Wow.
He would have
You
Jason
supporting
Bryant
Iowa.
on. Jason Bryant's one of the smartest guys in wrestling when it comes to, he really knows his stuff. Listening to that podcast, I absolutely could not wait for their next episode. Guess what? Cody Godwin, whatever, boom, he's gone. He's gone to college rep football. In the room, no more. So there went my favorite podcast. I like Flo. Flo's great. I complain they get a little sidetracked sometimes, and it goes, next thing you know, I just went 15 minutes. I never even heard the word wrestling. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. I get a little frustrated there. Maybe that's just me. But I will say this, them guys, they got a lot of knowledge in there. Of course, Ben Askren, there's a lot of knowledge there. Now, we're not full-time. You know, if I was full-time,
we would dominate.
I'd pit myself against that knowledge because I'd be sitting there looking and reading and looking and reading. I got 40 hours a week to look and read. I don't have to mess around driving a truck. But we do the best we can. But I do pit.
Flo's number one.
Flo's my number one.
Who's number two?
Well, probably in production and how it's done, I'm going to say Fanko wrestling, but I don't really watch it that much because it's more like
I haven't seen an episode out of him in a long time.
Well, it's kind of like Sports Center. He's covering the facts.
Do enjoy
and he does a very good job of it.
No opinion, though.
Yeah.
That's why we're the only opinion wrestling show out there.
Well,
seriously.
Yeah, and that's
Flo's too close to all the wrestlers. They can't even say a critical word because they're buddies with everybody. Fanco Sports Center. We are the college wrestling opinion show. We're the only one. We're the only one in the whole space. Anyone else?
I guarantee. I'm sure we make people mad.
Maybe we should advertise as that.
Know this though.
We probably should, but
know this. We might give an opinion a little rough on a guy and stuff. In the end, we love college wrestling. Every one of the people that we're either criticizing or what, ultimately we kind of love that guy because he wrestles. But you know,
we root for drama. All right, who's your three? Who else are you listening to?
Well, I mean, Wrestling Changed My Life is a great interview podcast. Like, and here's two great interview podcasts: Clash of Combats and Wrestling Changed My Life. Both of them do interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And
style show.
Interviews. I'm here with interviews. Like, I like interviews. Don't get me wrong. Not all of them are that exciting.
It's a style.
Some of them are very good. I like when you're asking the questions that I don't want the regular questions asked. Ask that stuff that I want to know if I'm sitting, on a couch next to this dude.
Clash of Combat does that.
Yeah. They're pretty good at it, and so both of them would kind of be in that range because I do like, and there's a whole bunch of them. And there's some I don't even watch that may be better than, they may go to the top. I mean, some of them I have to pay to watch, and I pay some service. I don't buy everything. I know Intermat's I should listen to their podcast more, and Willie Saylor.
Is that Stalemates?
Willie Seller he used to be with Flo, and now he's with Intermat. Do I got that right?
I thought he was Stalemates or something. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know, but I mean, the thing is it's a challenge to keep a podcast going in the off season, especially when we don't even have any cards going. if we could get a couple cards going, a little action. Yeah, we got the World Championships coming up in September, but in the meantime, we're trying to pluck things out of the air here. Just talk about. But we've done a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, we have. I'll give you my rankings. I got Clash of Combat 1. I just enjoy their interview style. Now, I'll say it is interview style, so it's a type. It's a,
Yeah.
I got 2 at Flow, just because there's just not a lot of options. I got 3 at Fanco. I just enjoy how fast it is. I like how fast-paced Fanco's is. Boy. And then others that I have listed here: Cactus Wrestling, Rebels Wrestling, Simple Man Wrestling Show, Stalemates, Barstool. That was Jersey Jerry. That was a pathetic effort.
Did they put out more than one episode?
Probably not, dude. I think he just had a crush on Spencer Lee. He just wanted to follow Spencer, dude. I'm not even joking. But all right. Hopefully, folks, give us your rankings. We'd like to see your rankings in the comments. I hope we're number 1.
And if you like us and we're in your top 5, I know you hate when you say.
Go ahead, like and subscribe. All right, let's wrap this up, dude. We're going to make this real quick, wrapping up. We're going to do our first ever Wayne lightning round questions, folks.
Oh, boy.
So I'm going to hit you with lightning rounds. You get 10 seconds to answer each question. Now, if you guys have a question for Wayne here, put it in the comments, and maybe we'll hit it next week in our lightning round. You have 10 seconds to answer these questions.
Okay.
And I want your honest opinion. Okay?
Okay.
Oh, right, here we go. Who will win, USA or Russia?
Russia.
Wow. Who's your favorite all-time wrestler?
Kerry Colott.
Who wins in a wrestling match right now? Tom Brands, Sean Bourmet.
I'm going to say Bourmet is bigger. I'm going to say Bourmet.
Okay. Well, we had a viewer comment who actually asked on last week's episode. Brands or John Smith?
Now, that's a good one. I'm going to say John Smith. I think Brands has got a bad hip or something. I'm not sure. Something about Brands. Tom, I'm talking about.
Got bad attitude. Hey!
I think he's something.
All right, we got 10 seconds. Will Carter Starachi return for a 5th year?
No.
Will Penn State beat the all-time record?
Yes. Wow. And yes.
Okay. Did you reach your potential as a wrestler in high school?
Who, me?
You.
No.
Why not?
Not at all. We were a horrible team. Don't
blame the team. You got 10 seconds. I'm talking about you.
I got 3rd at Pennsylvania State, but we were horrible. And you know what? I was goofy in the head, Zach. I didn't know it's time to take this serious. I didn't realize I'd fall in love with this sport like this. If I would have had half a brain back then, I would have said, "Get away, all you girls! Get away, all you troublemakers! I'm devoting myself to this sport." And
did my mother ruin your high school, college potential?
Your who?
Mother. By your love
yes,
for her.
Yes, she did. No, she did not.
Wow.
Did.
So basically, if you would have reached your potential,
but you remember
I probably wouldn't even exist.
You remember in that wrestling movie when she said, I shouldn't even bring that up. The old
lightning round. Better chance to win an NCAA title, Iowa or Michigan? This year.
Iowa. Just too much money's flowing around.
Okay. What about Bo Bartlett or Shane Van Ness?
Wow. I'm going to say Bartlett. That's tough.
Okay. All right. That's all I have.
Who goes further?
No, who has a better chance of winning a title this year?
Wow, that's tough. I'm going to say Bartlett. Wow, that's tough.
You picked Bartlett last week, and you did not pick Van Ness. All right, folks, we're going to get into, let's wrap this up with some comments review. We had a lot of comments last week, so we'll have to move. But let's talk about them. Drama King.
By the way, thanks for the comments.
Yeah, we love them. We love them, folks. Keep the comments.
A lot of really nice comments.
Yeah, if you have
we'll take the bad ones, too.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of them. Drama King, Tom Ryan, getting left in the dust by the teams taking in NIL refugees. He's going to sob with a snot bubble, inflating and deflating in one nostril, watching Messenbrink in blue and white. Tom Ryan's Get with the times. Now, last week we talked about a couple Tom Ryan's recruits. They brought in Tate Orndorff to oust Gary Trout.
Yeah, and McKenna was a transfer too.
McKenna was a transfer too. I thought we had another. Yeah.
I think
thought
McKenna
I saw that
came
comment.
from Stanford.
Yep.
Somebody wrote in and reminded us of that.
Yes, and I think that was one of them. But by the way, that was Rob Coleman who mentioned Orndorff.
Yeah.
Then we have TMR 2556. Olympics are special because you go and represent your country. There is no room for individuals or selfishness. I don't like RBY competing against his own people. Or if you do it, at least go train in Mexico. He's disrespecting them as well. Like, I'm going to use you, but I don't want to be with you guys.
I mean,
RBY wrestling for Mexico.
I don't want to see him wrestle for another country. I don't want to see him leave Nittany Lion Wrestling Club either.
Well, should he have to? Should he have to practice outside of the United States? Seriously, what? It'd be like I play for the Cowboys, but I practice with the Patriots. What?
Hey, all I know is I'll take RBY's help when it comes to Nagao and some of these new recruits coming in.
That's a fair point, TMR 2556. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
All right, our subscriber of the week getting shredded out there. He said, and by the way, Tom Ryan's cries just like all Ohio State coaches. And then old Jesse Hensley said, "There's always one D-bag in the comments." I was gonna send you a pair of BG underwear, but
I don't know what that means.
That means he didn't.
I take it he didn't like it. Well, anyway.
Yeah, he didn't like it. All right. Also from Jesse, hear a lot of Penn State homers on here, and Joey McKenna transferred to Stanford, so there's one. But Tom definitely does it by recruiting mainly, and doesn't worry about Michigan in football. We always knew that they would eventually win again. He was just wondering when.
Yeah.
Okay. One of our big fans, Math of Man, a big Ohio State fan. He said last week we decided to pick on Tom Ryan the week he couldn't watch. Good choice.
More coming there. I mean, I like Tom Ryan and all that. I said that enough times last week too. Believe me, once things start to get closer to the season, the blood will be flowing a little faster. The passion will be rising up. I got more to say on that Ohio State club.
All right. Remember last week you thought it was Casey Swiderski?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. But this guy is watching BEG. Said thanks for the shout out. He'd enjoy Iowa landing Gable for a huge price and 1 year of eligibility just to come second to Penn State by 50 points in March. Wow. He likes the insider cut.
Now, the Casey that you're talking about does follow Iowa State very closely.
Oh, yeah?
So he's kind of like an insider there. You know, Iowa State's got some studs coming.
Okay, let's be
honest. They just had
dude.
that, I can't even think of Nate, I can't even say his last name. He just won Fargo. I think both styles. I mean, he's a stud. Iowa State's going to be around.
You know, now that I think about this, everyone has these troll accounts now.
Yeah.
Things evolve, right?
Yeah.
Now, what about if the new thing is? What if that is Casey? What's the best way to hide that it's Casey? By saying it's Casey.
That's true.
Seriously?
You know, that makes me angry just right there. We had one of the greatest duels coming. Iowa State finally, Tom Brands, you and your mighty Iowa, guess what? You might get knocked off by Iowa State. What do you know? Here's about 1.1 million. Can't have that happen. No, you don't train them to win. You go buy them. Really, Tom? You really feel good about that?
All right. No, yeah, we know how you feel about that. By the way, Drama King, on Brands. Where's the loyalty, Brands? You're going to crap on Cassiope last year, bring in a higher gun.
Hey,
now, when you go into practice, talk about family and loyalty, those wrestlers they're looking at Cass on the bench.
You know what the funniest thing is? That little show I told you I turned the Orioles off to watch, the little program about Iowa wrestling. At the end of the program, it's Tom Ryan. They're interviewing him. He says, people out there are talking against Iowa, but they've not been in this room. You know what them people need to do? Just shut up. That's what Tom. And I just cracked up laughing. I thought,
he is talking to you.
Tom would like to get me. Tom,
Wow. Hey. Maybe we include that on our card next year. Our all-season card. You and Brand. That might get the biggest rating of all, baby.
Wow.
I mean, Brands and apparently Santa Claus, right? With a comment like Santa Claus and Nerd Neck, I'm betting BG Underwear eventually mail out will have to be a custom extra large in the waist with a very small spandex groin section. That's what I'm talking about. Drama King out there defending us, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Drama King.
You know, one thing I will say is our little, you guys that like our show, I mean, you're loyal. What a bunch. It's about time
we do appreciate it, and we love the comments.
Yeah.
Couple last ones. Amin wrestled for San Marino, landlocked in Italy, but technically a separate country. And talking about what are these rules, dude? Yeah. He also said Kale operates like Belichick. I completely agree with this. Kale is Bill Belichick when he was with Tom Brady. They keep everything in-house. We're led to believe that Iowa has to drop huge bags on everyone to go there, but Nagao went to PSU and is allowed to clean the toilets for $5 an hour and the privilege of wrestling for the great Kale. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just want to go to Penn State. I'll clean toilets for $5 an hour. Yeah, okay. Bill, Kale.
You know,
Kale, Belichick.
You talk about wrestlers going and wrestling for another country. Did you hear DeSanto's going wrestling for? He's not going to even wrestle for USA anymore.
That does not surprise me in the least.
Yeah, he's going to.
In fact, if you would have said, what's one wrestler who's just going to go off the rails and wrestle for another country, I would have said DeSanto.
Yeah, he's going to wrestle for Mars. No. Austin, I'm just kidding. I love Austin. He's Pennsylvania wrestler. That boy's tough. I tell you what, that was the greatest PIAA wrestling match of all time when he knocked off Spencer Lee. And I tell you, he did it. He beat Spencer Lee. I know Spencer was injured, and I felt bad for Spencer there. But, all right,
Zach. One final one. Let's wrap this up. One of our biggest fans, and I'm sure he's wearing our underwear right now, Jacob4552. Ben Askren and Flo are better. Get real. Ben especially makes it better. Two Hodge trophies. To how many do we have?
Whoa.
Again, these two are casuals. How many Hodge trophies you got?
Huge trophies? I got a bunch of huge trophies. Oh, you meant Hodge trophies. Oh, that's right. Unless you have a Hodge, you can't do a podcast. That's right. Hey, going.
I mean,
first of all,
well, Cole Young, 8907, defended us, said, yeah, Ben is a true brainiac, Jacob. Agreed with the confused look. And then Slap the Mat says, yet you continue to watch and comment every episode, Jacob.
I didn't read this one.
Weren't you already awarded with the Debbie Downer of the Week, Jacob? You dog, you. Trying to repeat and hook yourself up with a second pair of BEG undies. Hey, I'm a big fan of Askren too, but that being said, I enjoy these two. Shooting the stuff every week as well. The more wrestling talk, the better.
Slap the mat.
I know, I love
Slap the mat. And look at that. And Jacob.
By the way, Slap the Mat's coming out with a podcast.
Jacob, we love you. You keep it coming.
I know, we love you, Jacob.
Look, casual though. You got to change. We definitely aren't casual.
He's embracing.
He calls corny, goofy, jerky, any of that stuff. Casual, that don't fit, dude. I ought to give you
a second. Yeah.
I ought to give you a little history about my history. The amount of hours I put in this. Unless you've head coached for the past 30 years.
Show this.
I think I got you beaten in the amount of hours put into this sport.
How about hours into this episode? Jacob, look at these notes. Okay, this is the episode. Look at all these notes, Jacob.
Jacob, so casual. Look.
So many notes. This is BEG Wrestling, baby. We'll be back.
Later.